Ms. Susan Reeder Jessee. Several Frederick County high schools are currently listed in U.S. News & World Report's Best High Schools rankings, as well as the Washington Post Challenge Index. But science, math, and technology fields continue to be extremely competitive around the world and across the country. What do you feel needs to be done within FCPS today in order to prepare students for 21st century careers, both now and in the future?
Well, I've had the pleasure of working at the Fort Detrick campus for 10 years with people from all over the world and all different cultures to one common goal for the common good. I also have the privilege of working in Lonza and Walkersville. It is a global company. We have about 11,000 employees throughout. And I know just by talking to the different members throughout my company, we have weekly calls from Singapore to Belgium. My boss is in Belgium. And I get a tune of where the companies are, and I get a good feeling where they are. And I know where the hot points of engineering is occurring. I know the push on science to get people in the science field, or whatever emerging technology is out there. I mean, cyber technology, there's countries, there's a lot of investment all over the world just to get ahead of the United States. And so I have the privilege of just hearing a little bit about that as part of my daily job. I think it is extremely important to have an awareness and see the big picture from the school system perspective. And I've always been a big picture kind of person. You need to see what's out there. You need to see your competitions to know how to best structure your school system or your company. But in the school system, I think we do need to know what to focus on and have people out there to really keep in tune of what's going on, what's the newest, greatest things, so that Frederick County kids are best prepared, or continue to be the best prepared school system in the state of Maryland and throughout. And there's a lot of competition. We have to do what we can to keep ahead, no matter what, if the kids choose to go to college or to go to trade school. We need to prepare these kids. And I understand that, and I think it's very important. So that's about it.
Thank you. Ms. Norris, in an interview with the Frederick News Post, you mentioned, "I'm a moderate with balanced views, a thorough knowledge of the county from my experience as a business person in both one of the largest employers in the county and my own small business. How will you address the divergent needs of economic development, education, senior care, and growth and development as part of your role on the county council?"
That's a pretty broad question. Let's see. Okay. I'll start first with the economic development side and talk about the Office of Economic Development, which unfortunately I have to say that I think that the office has had its legs cut out from under it. And I believe that we've done some good things in the community, and when I ran 4 years ago, I talked about regulation and how we had to change and streamline our regulations and bring our county employees to have more of a focus of business and understand. Because when I was at Can-Am, I did experience times when there was a bit of bureaucracy that did keep us from having contracts go the way that we wanted them to. So that is a very important thing. We spent so much time in the last 4 years focusing on regulation and small business that I feel like we've lost our momentum with large businesses like biotech and some of the other large things coming up the road to other counties that are bypassing Frederick County. So I'd like to see us put more emphasis into our Office of Economic Development. Their budget has been cut and they don't even travel. I think they barely travel outside of the county except for perhaps one trade show, I think is the figures that I was given. So that's how you bring in business, and that's how you bring in revenue from large companies and bringing them in from other counties and other states. The rest of the question was schools and
yes. Senior
how to
care.
balance senior care and schools. Well, I'll say I'm going to run out of time now because I forgot to mention I was at a really great seminar last week where they told us about projections for how our community is grading. And I'm one of them. I'm a 50-something, and we are the tsunami coming down the road, and we're going to need lots of businesses to respond to services for senior care, and I think that's a big area where we need to look in terms of the future. Also, there's not a lot of young families coming in if indeed federal jobs are cut, so we need to find other ways to bring young families up the road if we want to have a mix, a divergent mix. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Norris. Mr. Otis. You said and are quoted on your campaign website as saying that growth should pay its own way. What do you mean by this? And with growth and development as such a volatile topic here in Frederick County among both camps, how will you work as an at-large council member to address the concerns for growth with the need for growth?
when you talk about growth paying for itself, it depends on what type of homes are being built, what kind of communities are being brought online. These $200,000, $300,000 houses will help with the income in the county by the taxes that they're going to be paying. So, you know, you want to encourage that kind of development. We have to moderate it and keep an eye on it. We don't want to grow too fast in the wrong, and particularly in the wrong places. And we want to make sure that we develop communities. You know, one of the reasons why they're having problems in Montgomery County is the community spirit is gone. People live in an area and they don't even know their neighbors next door. If we put developments like you have up here in Rosemont and different things like that, people get to know each other. That's very important, because if you know your neighbor, you see something happening, you look out for your neighbor. And so I think it's important that we put the community type and not just pile people in here on top of each other, and we look like Montgomery County 20 years from now. I really will not be happy if we do.